What's up, everybody? This is
What's
Mike.
going on?
This is Mike with Man with a Plan podcast, and we coming to you live on this Tuesday night, evening, whatever you want to call it. I just know I'm excited to be here, man. I gotta say, this our sixth episode, and I'm pretty excited. Like, man, I'm speechless. I'm excited. I'm lost for words. I feel like the podcast has been going fantastic. And man, but I do want to say this real quick before we go ahead and start getting to some of our things. Wait, oh, I forgot to do something. I'm sorry, Jimmy. Yo, this is Mike with Man with the Plan podcast, and over there we got Jimmy J, the Jack in the Box.
What up? What up? What up? What up? Man, how you gonna start off the podcast and not even introduce a brother, man?
Man, I'm sorry. I think the biggest thing is I was just so excited to start it. I've been thinking about this all day, and I'm pumped, man. This has become a routine, and I'm just so excited. That's my main thing. I'm sorry, bro.
Right. It's all good, man. But I can't believe, bro, it's already our sixth episode, man. Time flying by, huh?
Time is flying, bro. Like, and not just that. We got some big milestones because it's our sixth episode. We're now on Spotify. We're
Yes,
on
sir.
iTunes.
Yes, sir.
We're on SoundCloud. And then we also on Podbean. I think that's how you pronounce it, Podbean.
Yeah, that's
So
correct.
yeah, so yeah, go follow us on Spotify. Go follow us on iTunes, and also I've been saying I need to do this anyway. Saying this at the beginning. Go to our Facebook page at Man with the Plan Podcast. Like our Facebook page. Go follow us on YouTube. We're on YouTube also. Go click subscribe if you
Mhm.
have a YouTube profile. And then also we are now on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, and what else I say? SoundCloud. So y'all go hit us up. Follow us on those things. And also, we do have some sponsor slots. If you would love to sponsor us, the podcast, please do. That will help us continue to grow. It will help us get better equipment so we can sound better and different things like that. And so, with that saying this, Jimmy, let's go ahead and move into the hot topics for the man. This is the hot topic for the year right now, bro. The,
Right. Bro,
this
let me ask a question to you. Let me
Go
start it
ahead,
off for you. Bro, so how do you feel about Kanye West, man?
man. Like, okay, first I'm gonna start off saying by this: God
Okay.
can change anybody. Number one.
All right.
So I hope it's real.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it's real. I've been listening to some different documentaries. I've been watching some of the little small videos here and there with him. I went on YouTube and tried to find some different interviews, different things like that with him. My biggest thing is I hope it's real and it's not a gimmick to make money.
Right.
But besides that, bro,
Mm-hmm.
listening to the message of his music, man, I thought I made a post on this not too long ago with one of his songs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which I said that I never would have ever would have thought we would have be hearing about Kanye West singing, not singing, but having a gospel album and repping Jesus Christ,
Right.
bro.
Like you touching people. Like
Like,
that's what's shocking.
yeah, bro. Like I'm so almost lost for words. I just watched the video here recently. He was in a prison, bro, doing the deal at the prison, at the women's prison and at the men's prison. And
Mm-hmm.
bro, they had the one from the women's side. They had women crying, women praying. They're in prison all because he decided to go into the prison zone. What he's doing,
Right.
he's reaching levels of people. If this is sincere and if this is real, he is going to reach a level of people that some of us could never reach. He's been having a following for so long. And like he said, I've done wrong for so long. Now I gave my life to Jesus Christ. That's his
Mm-hmm.
words. He's the son of God, son of Jesus Christ. And he's loving it. I think he's living it. I saw him. I watched one when he was at Joe Osteen's church. He did a concert there. Bro, the lyrics of those songs, man, I should have pulled those up before we even got started. Go watch some of the videos on it. Like man, at the end of one of the songs, he says, This is my life. This is my wife. This is my kids. Thank you, Jesus, for winning the fight. Other lyrics were saying, if you're addicted, if you're anything like that, you gotta give your life to Jesus. And it's no underlining stuff in his lyrics. There's no underlining stuff in his songs. And I'm like, man, bro, like I'm speechless almost, you know?
Right, right. Same over here. Like he really out here touching people, and that's like the last thing I expected from Kanye West, especially after all the stuff that he didn't mock Jesus and came out with Yeezy shoes and all this other stuff that he was doing in the past, and now to see him in this light, it's like, man, this if this is real, this is crazy.
This is new
Like,
level stuff.
right,
If he's really sincere, if he's really real, this is new level stuff. What he's doing, man, and kudos to him, man. Keep grinding. You know that's what we need. We need people to, God don't discriminate. He don't care what color you are, what race you are, what language you speak. When he reaches for somebody, he reaches for them, and he can save their life forever. And
right.
I'm happy that he's in a position, you know what I'm saying, like his church that he started.
Mhm.
He started is a worship church, and then what they do is they have special guest speakers come. Like I saw one like Michael Todd was there one time, and he was speaking. And then right after that, Kanye did his little worship deal. I watched a video on I think his wife named Kim Kardashian. I think that's her name.
Yeah, yeah. Kim Kardashian, his
Yeah.
wife.
She was like, she supports him on his
Hmm.
decision and she said it on the View, bro. She was on the View and said that she's to support his decision of him giving his life being saved by the Lord Jesus Christ. Is what she said,
Right. See, that's powerful, bro.
bro. Like his wife supporting him. I think he's doing a good thing. Say it again. I'm sorry.
I said on the View, like that's a politically correct show.
Yeah, on the View, bro. She said that.
All right,
And so, like, I said, man, bro, I really just hope this is really sincere and this is real because, man, this could be it's a game changer, bro,
all
in the walk in the Christian faith. If Kanye is really sincere, I hope he is. I'm giving him the
right,
benefit of the doubt.
right. At least until you prove us wrong.
Right, exactly. And then we all could prove ourselves wrong sometimes, But my brother, he's trying, and that's man, bro. Like that's I want to have the words to say, but man, dog, like it's really good. I'm happy for Kanye. Keep, like I said, I hope it's sincere. And
Hmm.
now he's in a position now of I'll have to say he has to learn how to discipline himself in a different format now, right? So at first he can live however he wanted to live because that's the life he was portraying. Now,
Right,
now he has to come to a place of refocusing his life. It seemed like he's doing. Refocus his life and discipline his life in a different level of living.
right.
And that's the topic that we're gonna move on today. We're gonna be talking about discipline,
Yep.
self discipline. And so there's many different things out there about discipline. As I was studying about the podcast and different things like that on discipline, and as we was talking on the phone about it,
Hmm.
uh, at first we all kind of had the idea of, hey, I'm disciplined when I'm disciplined in this area. I'm disciplined when I'm disciplined in this area in my life. And then all got as we was talking about it, we all got to thinking, man, I might be disciplined in, this area of my life, this area in my life, but I'm lacking in this area and I'm lacking in this area. But really, what is discipline?
Hmm.
Like, is it discipline? I'm a disciplined person if I can be on time every time. Does that make me disciplined?
Hmm.
Or does it make me disciplined because I might not could be on time, but I'm very disciplined in my finances? Does that mean I'm a disciplined person?
Right.
So in reality and collectively, what is discipline? And so some of the
Hmm.
conclusions that we came to, that I've studied and came to, and then Jimmy, I would love to hear your opinion about it in a second, on the things of being disciplined. As we was discussing, it became becoming a disciplined person as a whole,
Right.
not just in this area, and this area. It's everything I do within me. It's almost like another. It's like almost like integrity in a sense. It's like
Right.
I don't have integrity just in this area of my life. I don't have integrity just in this portion of my life. I live and I breathe integrity.
Right.
So in the same sense of that, what being a disciplined person, and I looked up some definitions of being a disciplined person, and this is one of the definitions I found, and I love it because I think it sums up like what we're saying. A disciplined person is someone who can do the right thing at the right time, in the right way, and in the right spirit.
Wow. I like that.
So
Mine's.
go ahead, Jimmy.
I was gonna give my definition of what I looked up. It was the ability to control one's feeling and overcome one's weaknesses.
Wow,
Yeah.
discipline and that ability. I will also stretch out and say it takes time and to
Right.
become a disciplined person. We don't become a disciplined person overnight. And when this subject was chosen, I was like, man, I don't know if I'm ready to completely to completely talk about discipline on this level because as I was looking about it and unfolding my life, it was like, man, bro, I'm really not as disciplined as I thought I was.
Right.
So,
Same. Same.
and I was thinking like, man, this discipline is a big factor of your life. Of because other examples it was saying on here, a disciplined person is someone who can do the right thing at the right time, at the right moment, in the right way, in the right spirit.
Mhm.
Notice what a disciplined person is not. A disciplined person is not simply someone who can execute many different areas of your life. Discipline. Does not mean you're a disciplined person. It's doing the
Right.
right thing at the right time, at the right moment, doing it the same way every single time, everything you do. A disciplined person is not highly systematic. He's not very regularly scheduled or chart making, gold star loving. Every time you do something, you get a gold star kind of thing. The phrases were
Hmm.
rigid and the person's not organized, but they were not disciplined person in the sense required by true discipleship. Being a true disciplined person is an overall thing in everything you touch and everything you do. You
Hmm.
disciplined in it, but it takes
Right.
time in that. And I started mainly as I'm thinking about this podcast is I want to be on the positive side of it. But if you allow me to be completely honest with you, I lack in discipline in some areas of my life. You
Right.
know, I might be strong in like, for example, in my spiritual walk, and I'm strong in that. I'm disciplined in that. I get the point of waking up early, praying and studying, reading before I go throughout my day. I'm disciplined in the area of making sure I have a certain time set so that I do pray and study and read. I'm disciplined in the fact of hey, I know like on Monday nights, Monday nights is my specific time at 7:30 to pray. And throughout the week I have certain things that I have set in place for me to be disciplined in my spiritual walk.
Hmm.
But my question is, am I disciplined in those areas because I know the outcome of them? Yes. But
Definitely. Definitely.
the other areas that I'm not disciplined in
Hmm.
is because I know that it's not my it's I don't I'm not looking for a certain outcome. But does that
Right.
mean I need to be lacked in that area?
Hmm.
So a great example is this: just because I'm not going to the gym every day and working out on my physical shape.
Hmm.
See, there's some people who has and I feel like certain things is a lifestyle, and I think
Right.
in the same manner, discipline is a lifestyle as well in everything that you do.
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out like a great way to wrap it all up in as far because this is a really hard topic.
I think you can wrap it up in a bow, if you will, because
Yeah,
this is an endless pursuit of self discipline. Like, first of all, you got to know your weaknesses. You got to remove temptations. You got
yeah,
to set clear goals and have an execution plan, and you have to build your self discipline. Like, it don't just come overnight. It's not something we could wake up, boom, middle of the night. I could put a switch, well, flip a switch, and boom. self-discipline and everything. I'm on time. I got all my work done on time. Leaving the house at 7:30. The dishes are all clean. Like that's not practical. So it's all a learning process and growing. As time goes on.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jimmy. Give me some examples in your life that you have put in place to make sure that you're disciplined, or another word, grounded. What are some of the things that help you stay grounded or disciplined?
Man, my circle, like the people that I surround myself with, they keep hold me accountable so that I can stay self-disciplined. So, for example, football was a blessing and a curse
Mhm.
because in the aspect of self-discipline,
Yeah,
because think about football from a football perspective. We always have a strength coach there to motivate you to go the extra mile or give 110%. But in
yeah,
life, there's nobody there to, hey Jimmy, you need to wake up at 7:30 to be at work on time. Like there's nobody who's gonna do that. So me growing into adulthood showed me and gave me an example of, hey, I really need to surround myself with people who always doing the right things and always, pushing forward so I can hold myself accountable. If See where I'm coming from?
yeah. I see that, and that's powerful too, because like you said, like say growing up as a kid, we always had somebody telling me what to do,
Right.
but then
Do you
transition. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like you always have somebody do your homework. This is what we eating tonight. This is how basically a parent outline your whole life. But how does a kid develop that self discipline?
Yeah, I think it's taught. I
Right.
think becoming a self disciplined person is taught. I was talking to a buddy of mine on my way home, talking about the podcast, and one of the things that he stuck out to me was being disciplined. Becoming a disciplined person has been taught. It's what the saying is: if you know what's right, you'll do right.
Right. I also think it's a characteristic thing. So I can use my fiance for example. She whenever it came to time for homework, she was always doing her homework. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
And no one had to tell her to do her homework. But for me, man, somebody need to tell me to do my homework because I wasn't disciplined enough to get it done. I wanted to go ahead and do my own thing. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna procrastinate this until Sunday night
yeah.
at 11 when it's about to be due. When knowing I had all week to do it, but I didn't have the self discipline to come through and follow through with it.
Wow. So you trying to tell me people who procrastinate not disciplined?
No, sir. Self discipline is like three things. We all have good intentions. It's all like a bunch of procrastination and feelings of failure because we procrastinated. You're like, man, you knew you should have done it, but you still ain't do it. So you just procrastinated, put it off, put it off, put
Yeah,
it off, and now it's due date, and you ain't got the answers.
because you wasn't disciplined enough to put in the time and the effort to to pursue those things. So, for example, like somebody who like I told one time I was preaching to at a youth group,
Uh
and
huh.
I was explaining to him when I first gave my life to God, it was a struggle. I had some battles within myself that I had to try to overcome. So, one of the things I like to do was I like to go to the club, bro. I was always at the club all the time. And so when I decided to change my life around, I was like, that's an environment I can't go in. So what did I had to do? I had to I had to discipline myself on when it came to that time for me when it came to the weekend, and it was like, Mike, you're going to struggle in this area. You have to discipline yourself to not fall into that temptation of going out to the clubs anymore. And that was a battle, and it was a strategic battle too as well. Strategic, sorry, excuse me. It was a strategic battle as well because it was like, what can I do to discipline myself?
Hmm.
And that's the question that we all ask, as
Right.
in, my health and my finances. What can I do to help, you know, discipline myself in those areas? And then here's the kick part: we find out what to do. We'll make a budget, or we'll make a eating routine or something like that, and we don't follow through with it.
Right. Bro, and you know what all that boils down to? Basically, is willpower. Do I have the willpower within myself to control my emotions, my finances? my eating habits,
Yeah.
because I know both of my parents. I'm just using an example. Both of my parents are high blood pressure, diabetics. Why do I continue to eat honey buns every single day?
Cause the honey
Oh,
buns be so good. The honey buns be so sweet. Man,
I'm setting myself up for failure right off the bat.
right off the bat, and sugar diabetes for real though. But listen,
Right.
overall though, of being trying to become a self-disciplined person, it's definitely a challenge. And it's
Right.
like, I'm not gonna call him out there, but I have a buddy of mine. He tells me, Mike, every day I go to bed and I wake up at a certain time and I go to the kitchen to eat.
Hmm.
And man, he said I can't stop the eating, man.
I know
He's
you talking.
yeah. He's like, he comes to me and he talks about getting rid of the belly. But when it comes
Uh-huh.
down to getting rid of the belly, when the time hits at 2 o'clock in the morning and it's time for that snack time, it gets
All
to the
right.
point to where do I have to discipline myself to know that I can't go and do that
Hmm.
anymore.
And see, that's a big part of the self discipline, the process of becoming more self disciplined.
Yeah,
You have to identify and know what you need to do differently. And if you know, come on, you gotta have somebody who holds you accountable. You gotta put in steps to help kick the addiction. Because really, at the end of the day, it's an addiction, and we just trying to get through it.
yeah. Man, I love what you just said there. A few things you said was have somebody hold you accountable, and then you have to recognize what the problem is.
Right.
And I feel that's some of the steps that we have to take of trying to become a self-disciplined person. So I know, for example, I can't go to Walmart by myself, bro. If I go to Walmart, I go in Walmart for one thing, and I come out with 20 different things. And
You didn't spend the light bill, the water
the,
bill, the gas.
the bro, I spent everything because why? I'm not disciplined enough as a person to go in Walmart. I'm not. That might sound
Right.
crazy to some, but bro, I'm not disciplined at all to go to Walmart. So I have my wife. Thank the Lord for my wife. She'd be like, "Hey, Mike, are you sure you can handle going into Walmart today?"
See, y'all got that plan in place. Like she already know.
We got that plan in place to help me stay grounded. I
Hmm.
feel another word for discipline is being grounded,
All right.
being level.
I,
Like you
I
said,
like.
controlling your emotions, controlling your thought patterns and and it's an all round thing, right? And it's man, if you sit there, Jimmy, you think about it, okay?
Uh,
Look at your life, what I'm doing it too because I've been reflecting on it all day. Of
mhm.
if you can say a strong top five that you discipline in areas, how many can you choose? Like
Man,
you got five
like
things to choose from.
uh,
Reality, can you say that you discipline in five things?
man, I can honestly like sit here like think about it, bro, and I got say I'm like one and a half ish, maybe two. Things that I consistently do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I'm self disciplined enough to brush my teeth every morning, if that counts. But I think some people out there like they fail to realize that it's okay to start small, Mike. You don't have to,
Right.
be disciplined in all areas in your life. And one like a big thing for me was I need to figure out what I need to work on. Like, what are my priorities? So if I know, say for instance, like work is a higher priority. If I don't go to work, if I don't get a check, man, how we gonna pay for bills? So if I'm consistently showing up late for work, I know that's on a higher priority list of my self discipline that I need to fix.
Man, that's a good point of view. Cause like, man, I love that, man. Like, what is your priorities? And so to help us overcome and become more of a well-rounded, disciplined person, you have to choose your priorities. Get your priorities down, and then you work on that because it's not gonna happen overnight. becoming disciplined would not happen overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day, and the Great Wall of China definitely wasn't built in a day. And
Right.
and us becoming a person of integrity and a person of strong discipline, that don't happen overnight. Because us as people, we have a lot of junk that we carry and that we have to work through. And so,
Right.
hopefully, what you can get out of the podcast and pull some nuggets out of this podcast of how can I help myself to become a disciplined person in certain areas, so that way I could try to transform my life to be a well-grounded person.
Right.
And it's doing the right things at the right time in the right
Hmm.
attitude,
Right.
not just every moment. Oh, today I'm gonna choose to do something right. No, it's like, and I wanted to break it down too in different levels. Like the average person in life, like you said, Jimmy, has to get up and
Hmm.
go to work.
Right.
So know that, and that's something I had to do. I had a real problem with being late all the time.
Hmm.
Like I had a real issue with that.
I
So,
remember.
and if I don't watch myself and refocus, I can fall
Mhm.
back into that trap really easily.
Right.
Because why? That's been my norm for so long, and so now I'm trying to discipline myself in that manner, and that's when you're trying to discipline and break a cycle. Then you have growing pains. But once you get through the growing pains, you're gonna see the fundamental foundation that you have grown so much because you decided to overcome being on time instead of being late all the time. And so that's something that I had to do. I had to discipline myself on how to get on time. So some steps that I took. All my clocks at my house are 10 minutes fast.
I like that, bro. I like that.
Like all of them are. Well, I have to say I got one. I got one on time to keep me to let me know because I got one, and that's the stove because we got to keep that right when it comes down to cooking. So, but most of all the clocks in my house are 10 minutes fast. It has to be, or I'll never be on time. But that's
Right.
a step that I took on disciplining myself. Of I have to become more on time. And do I still need
Right.
work on that area? Yes, I do. But I'm working at it, and then one day I'm gonna master it. And so,
Another, and I was gonna say another thing is we need to reward ourselves for small progresses.
ooh,
A
that's
lot of
big.
people don't take their small winnings like, hey, for your example, I'm actually on time today. Like that needs to be a big deal for you because man, I got so used to people saying, man, we're gonna show up 10 minutes late because of Mike. So so that was like a big deal for us to be on time to things.
Yeah. that,
It was
that's
like
so
a big
true, though.
deal. It was a huge deal for Mike to show up 10 minutes early to an event,
To admit.
and it was everything. I don't know if Mike, feel some type of way about me calling him out.
No, that's good, bro. But it was everything. Like I was
It,
late for everything.
every area Mike was late at.
So it was just a problem that I had. I was late, bro. Remember Jimmy for my 21st birthday. We was an hour late showing up to my 21st birthday party.
I remember that we had people throw you a birthday party.
People throw me a birthday party, and I was an hour late for it
You was late.
because I wasn't self-disciplined,
Right.
and that becomes a problem. And so when you're not self-disciplined, things in your life start to leak out and
Hmm.
get out of control, and everything starts spiraling downhill. Because why? You're not self-disciplined enough to handle it.
Right.
And so what I'm doing is trying, for example, because like I feel like, I want to share my weaknesses in it, but I also have to share like what am I doing to help myself become more disciplined in that area. So I
Right.
know, hey man, somebody got to pay the bills on time. Somebody got to do these different things like that. So I had to break down. I had to make me a calendar. I had to really sit down and focus and get my calendar down. I had to really sit down and look on the line and figure out when the bills are due and put it down on the calendar. And
Hmm.
at first, all my stuff was getting turned off all the time because why? I wasn't disciplining myself to pay my bills on time.
Right.
So
Or, or basically, like I was saying earlier, with the procrastination, you was procrastinating, you was putting things off until that last
mhm.
minute, and then you looked up and it was like, oh man, the first thing got here. and now I'm stuck out somewhere because I ain't I procrastinated on paying this bill.
Exactly. And that's
Hmm.
why, and and I'm so thankful. I know we bring up our football analogies a lot, but if it wasn't for that, man, it helped me out so much on a lot of different things because it taught me to discipline, how to help me discipline my life in certain areas. You know what I'm saying? Like they made us come to practice at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Hmm.
Don't show up to practice at 5 o'clock in the morning and watch what happens to you.
We don't want to talk about it.
No, man, Zabonis are no joke.
Right. But Mike, think about this. Think about the game of football, bro, and how like people always say the game is played between the whistles. So from start to finish, from down set hut, you got so much time to block your opponent.
Hmm.
Or for your example, you got so much time to rush the quarterback,
Yeah,
and then you automatically have to stop and flip a switch and say, "Hey, next play." Think about how hard that is.
right.
That's not an easy thing. And think about how much time you have to practice stopping as soon as the whistle blow. Don't don't get extra penalties because you're going extra after the whistle.
Yeah,
And think about how much you could really look at a team and see how self-disciplined they are based on their penalties.
and based on their performance too.
Right, right, right.
For example, let's use the Razorbacks. Hoo-hoo-hoo. Let's use the Razorbacks. How not
Hey,
disciplined they are.
it's a
Like,
sensitive subject for some people, man.
man, look, you can be sensitive all you want to. The Razorbacks ain't disciplined. And that's why they're in the predicament that they're in. They're going from coach to coach. Because why? That coach is not instilling good principles of discipline in those those athletes' lives. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, think about it. I remember one play at the beginning of the season. They called the play. Both players didn't know what the play was, and then boom, they ran right into each other.
Yep.
Why? Because they're not disciplined.
All
They
right.
don't have that self-discipline to know that this is my job, this is what I need to do, and I have to execute it.
Hmm.
But instead, I don't know what they on fairy tale land or what they're doing, but at the same time, they're not disciplined to do things right. Is
Right.
it their fault or is it the coach's fault?
It's a little of both because
Absolutely.
think about it. At the collegiate level, you're a grown man, so at the end of the
Yeah.
day, you make your own decisions. Like no one has to teach me at 18, 19 years old to study my playbook after hours. Like I'm already knowing I'm supposed to do that.
Yeah.
But that's not a trick question. A trick answer. Like I know,
Yeah.
hey, I need to run on X, Y, and Z play, so I need to know.
Yeah. And
And
here's another
oh,
thing,
go ahead.
just to kind of carry on with that, like to apply that to somebody's life,
Uh,
they apply it to our lives. I believe, Jimmy, that becoming a disciplined person, I said this earlier, is a lifestyle.
hmm.
You
It
have
is.
to form your life around trying to become disciplined.
Hmm.
And I know it sounds like we've beaten that word in the ground, but it's one of those things like, hey, I'm working on this to myself, and I'm putting things in place myself to become disciplined in some areas of my life. Well, a
Hmm.
whole round area of my life. But what happens is it's a step by step of training, of preparing, mental preparation. Man, it's
Right.
work. And that's
Right.
one thing a lot of people don't want to do. They don't want to put in that work to be disciplined.
Hmm.
Because why? They
It's,
want to
it's
say that again?
I was saying it's a hard thing to be disciplined. Like it's a hard thing to be a good person, to be honest. Like to always have a smile on your face, to be genuinely care about the next man. That's a hard thing to say.
Yeah.
Hard thing. Right.
And a hard thing to be disciplined in those areas. Because
Hmm.
sometimes, I want to get mad at somebody, you know what I'm saying, and slap her brother down. But I have to
Right.
be disciplined to know that, Mike, you can't do that. That's not, one, that's not who you are. That's not what you should be doing, number one. And number two, there are some severe consequences if you do something like that. But then as a person, you have to learn how to control your emotions of when you're
Right.
angry. And that's a process. So let's, of doing that. Definitely for somebody who has really bad anger problems, right? So when someone has really bad anger problems and they go through like an anger management class, I've never been through one, but I've seen some different things online. And so somebody who's going through those steps of trying to discipline his life on how to overcome their anger, they teach them step by step thing processes to help them overcome and to discipline themselves, not to freak out and different things when you get upset.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying. So like people who have like drinking problems, people who have who like you said earlier addicted to certain things, you have to learn. Oh, the biggest one, the hardest one things I think is hard to kick for some people is cigarettes.
Right. The
And
Knicks.
they're addicted really bad.
Hmm.
So you have to come to a place of disciplining yourself. Of, if I want to quit, you have to
Hmm.
start putting things in place to help you quit. To disciplining yourself and weaning yourself off the cigarette butt.
Off the nicotine. Yep.
Exactly. And I love this. Oh man, I'm trying to quit, and you watch a person smoke like 4, 5 more cigarettes. You ain't trying to quit. You ain't
All
trying to
right.
discipline your life. You ain't trying to change because your actions speak louder than your words.
All right. That's true, man.
If so,
And I. Oh, go ahead,
if
bro. My bad.
somebody's saying that I'm trying to quit and they smoking still smoking 10 packs a day, you ain't
Hmm.
trying. You ain't trying to quit.
No way. You just talking game,
Exactly.
bro. And also, bro, like, so I, I've been trying to look at my bosses and see how they act all the time.
Yeah.
And bro, it's hard being a boss. Like I just realized that because bro, even like for some people they might understand because they got kids. So
Hmm.
like you could when you have kids, you have to flip a switch. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just be mean to your kid when they're hungry. Like you can't. If they want Fruit Loops, you got to get them some Fruit Loops. You feel me? As, coming from a boss perspective, like people depend on you like to
Hmm.
answer questions like all day.
Hmm.
And if you're rude, if you don't have a smile on your face, if you nonchalant about it, man, that stuff really shows. And I'm starting to notice, like in corporate, who are the good bosses because their attitude don't change no matter the situation. I think that's cool, bro. And it's funny that we talking about self discipline tonight.
Yeah. And also it shows how disciplined they are in their emotions.
Right, right.
You
And
know.
see, like, because I don't have children right now, so I can't really speak on if that's the case. Like, once you have kids, like it get better because you know how to flip the switch for your children. So you like automatically like that's just who you are as a person at that point.
Yeah.
But coming from my perspective, like I don't have children, so I'm just looking at my bosses like, man, I inspire to be that boss who always come to work on time, always smiling, always have a good attitude, always checking on their employees. Like, man, that stuff really shows.
Yeah. And that's something they probably had to learn how to train and do themselves and get disciplined in there. So like you said, you brought up something about kids too. I'm a father now. Whoop 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 whoop. And so
Yes, sir.
and I got one on the coming on the way. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty excited about that. And so I got one on the way, baby Riggs right. And so but thinking about my son that I have now,
Uh-huh.
um, I believe we instill in him as what we're doing self discipline.
Okay.
Yes, you could turn it off and on, and then it's also choosing your battles and with different things too. Because I went from a position of being too hard all the
Hmm.
time to say no, I'm instilling discipline on this boy. So every wrong move that he's made, I'm gonna be there to stop that.
That's too hard.
Yeah, so but at the same, but I've learned of yes, you still can instill discipline. For example, making sure they go to bed at the proper time, making sure
Hmm.
they brush their teeth at the proper time. And I know I said that backwards, but make sure they're doing certain things. They eat at a consistent time. I think another thing, the biggest thing is being consistent.
Right. Right.
Consistency in everything you do plays a role of your life of becoming a disciplined person.
Right. I agree. If you don't
Because
have that consistency, it's gonna show.
it's gonna show. And being
Right.
consistency in the goals that you put in front of yourself to accomplish.
Mm.
So you say this is what I want to achieve, and this is where I want to discipline myself. Now just because you sit there and write down a calendar and you did it for 3 months don't mean you're disciplined. You might be
Right.
disciplined in an area, but in reality, are you disciplined all around the way of your
Mm,
life? And I guess that's a goal that we all trying to reach.
right. I know I am for my life, bro.
Yeah. So like I just want to I did hit on a few targets and different things, but I
Hmm.
might be strong in my like I said earlier, I might be strong in my finances, but then right over here, you know, I'm weak on let's see here, eating late at night.
Hmm.
And so overall, at times I just gotta put certain things in place to help me
Right.
set goals, to
Hmm.
accomplish those goals, to discipline myself, to stretch myself, to become a better person.
Also having that accountability partner like your wife, or
Yeah,
me, for example, who could say, Mike, man, I see you over there eating. You
yeah.
eating a little too much, man. Hold on. Hold on.
That's crazy, man. That's the truth, though, bro. We need that, man. We need that discipline. So, all right, Jimmy, man, you won't believe it, Jimmy, but bro, it's literally about that time.
You
Like,
know what time it is? You know what time? You know what about that time it's for?
it's about
Rapid
rapid
fire.
fire. It's a rapid fire question times. Go ahead, Jimmy, hit us with those rapid fire questions.
Doom, 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 doom. Gotta, have that
Dude,
little sound effect.
yeah, I
All
gotta
right,
get
number
one. I've been saying that. I gotta get one.
man, you gotta come on. All right, on a scale of 1 to 10, how cool are you?
I'm a 10.
You a 10? Come on, man, you ain't no 10, man. I said I'm a solid 8.
A
I'm
solid
cool with me.
8.
Number two. What is your dream car?
My dream car, a truck. I want a Ford F-150, baby.
Come on, man. I'm thinking outside the box, man. I want a Lambo. I want to pull up, skirt, skirt, showing that. What's up? What's up?
What's up now, man? I want my Ford F-150, man. That's my dream
Whatever.
car.
All right, all right. Number 3, favorite TV show.
Lethal Weapon.
You Lethal Weapon. You
Yeah.
watch it? Man, I'm about to go with Triple D, man. You ever heard of Triple D? It's
No, I never
called
heard that.
Diners, Drive-In, and Dives, man. It's a food show where a guy Ferrari, I don't think I'm saying his last name right, Ferrari, Ferrari, however you say it.
Hmm.
He goes around to different places around the country and sample out the food, whoever like they recommend for their town.
Oh, that's
So
good.
yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Me and my fiance had the privilege of going to a few of them and checking them out, and it was pretty good. Like actually,
Yeah.
whatever I sampled it. I was like, man, this is it. This is it. So it was pretty cool. All right, question number 4: dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Milk chocolate.
Man, milk chocolate all the way, man.
Milk
Dark
chocolate.
chocolate, bitter,
Bitter.
sour.
Yeah. Milk chocolate. Got that sweet taste.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And question number 5. We're gonna end on this one. What's the last book you read?
The last book I read,
Hmm.
um, 1 Minute Manager.
1 Minute Manager. Nice. Briefly, give us a synopsis real fast.
It's talking about management and about this guy. He went out on the search of how to be the best manager out there, and so he thought there was no good manager because there was either the micromanager, the he listed different managers that I can't think off the top of my head until he ran against this guy. He called himself the 1 Minute Manager,
Uh-huh.
and so he was explaining to him in their meetings that they have everything's a minute.
Okay.
And with all that is everybody's more productive in the
Uh-huh.
company because of the style of managing that he's using.
Right, right. I
It's
think we could adapt some of that at Walmart.
yeah,
I like
it's a great book. It's a great book.
the book I just recently read. It's called Set for Life by Scott Trench. And man, it's basically setting us up for a plan of success financially, spiritually, and everything in life. Like to where you could retire like way younger than we supposed to, and how to pretty much manage everything in life
Oh
to make
wow,
you set. Yeah, it's a pretty good book.
that's good, man. Yeah, I'm about to. You gonna go ahead and give me that book?
Yes, sir. And that was Rapid Fire Questions brought to you by Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hey
sir.
everybody, thank y'all for watching another episode, Man with the Plan podcast, and we came to you live. I just get so excited by saying that. uh, go ahead and follow us on. Go to our Facebook page, like our Facebook page at Man with the Plan podcast. Go follow us on YouTube and click subscribe. Click, 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 and then also you can go listen to our podcast on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, and Podbean now. So we on all the high end social media, not social media, on the
Streaming.
streaming devices. So Jimmy J and I we put in some hard work the other day to get us on those things, and we got approved. So that's awesome. So yeah, go check us out on those. Also like and share everything. We love y'all. Thank y'all for watching Man with the Plan. Deuces.
Peace out.